You're right. I mean, it's completely changed since then. Like the kind of industry in the UK, and I think a lot of it, whether people like to admit it or not, is the good influence from WWE. I know some people will harp on at me for that because they'll say, no, WWE try to kill it and they've taken all our good guys and all the rest of it. But I do feel like they have helped the UK scene. And I always say that whenever WWE is doing well, it always trickles down. Like there's like a ripple effect with that. But
Yeah.
I've got to ask you now, Alex, like with the way you see it, do you feel like UK wrestling has it got a glass ceiling to the point where you think that no promotion can ever grow to a certain point because WWE is kind of has an existence here now, if you will, like where they can take stars?
I mean, first of all, what you said about, wanting to go back to real wrestling, I think it's a double-edged sword because for me as an interviewer, I want them to tell me things.
Right.
That's kind of the crux of a lot of my interviewing is getting to, the hows and the whys. And I think that's always been the interesting aspect for me because you get stuff back from them in character. I don't know how much people are interested in that. But like today, for instance, Adam Cole's out there and he's saying that the Undisputed Era, he's admitting that it was like a last minute decision. It wasn't well thought out. It was just something that was dropped on them. That's interesting to me. And I think a lot of people like to know those kind of things. At the same time, I would nothing was greater than when I was like a 10-year-old watching wrestling. I didn't know about dirt sheets. I didn't know about hardly anything. I'm just watching it for what it was. And it was like the greatest thing. Legitimately the most entertaining thing I could think of, the Rock and Austin in their prime and all of that great stuff. So, obviously I'd love to go back to a world like that, but there is no going back, unfortunately. Like now I try never to be the spoilers guy. Like, I know a fair amount of stuff that's coming up in NXT UK that's already been taped, but again, like, I wouldn't want to tell anyone that. And the same with like, I remember when Edge was injured at Backlash, I didn't, I said to Sean Rossap, I said, you can have it if you want. I let him verify it, but after I'd heard it, I just thought, I wish I didn't know this stuff. But I say that I don't know everything at all, but you do hear little nuggets, and it's just like, oh, that sucks. Yeah, in terms of British wrestling, I think like WWE, it just makes it easy for people to make it a target. But it is the natural order of things since the beginning of time. Like the cream will, or the proverbial cream will always rise to the top. It will. It will go to the place where it has the best money and most exposure, and that is WWE. But back in the day, it would have been any territory, right? You could have all made that claim against anything. The British scene, I think, took so much offence to WWE getting involved with ICW and Progress and whatever, because it was booming to such a level that it hadn't done in decades, and everyone felt like it was theirs. I understand, but it's not killing something, right? Like that will always be the way where there'll be, territories of, Memphis or whatever, like Mid-South. They all had boom periods, but nothing lasts forever. And then they all move on and do different things or whatever. And I feel like the British wrestling scene had maybe reached its apex without a Tony Khan or someone saying, okay, let's do it, right? There is only so far you can go without that backing and then TV deals and all of that stuff. There is a ceiling, of course there is. And as a performer, if you're going to reach your potential, you have to go to these other places. And I don't think that's a bad thing. You should want the best for the performers, right? You should want them to reach their apex. And I understand that it's hard to let go sometimes. And, I just don't feel like you can ever levy accusations of selling out to people like that. And the promotions will live on and the conveyor belt will continue. But as is the food chain, as it were, in wrestling, the best will always rise up and go do, unless they want to sit around and be in Progress forever or whatever, which, nothing against them if they did. But unless that's their career goal, the ceiling's always going to be higher than that. So again, Britain could have a real flagpole, massive worldwide promotion. Let's just say, I don't know, ITV said we're going to put it in a prime slot, and then this big Tony Khan-esque Vince McMahon figure comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to put my back in behind this.
It's Mike Ashley.
The last thing
the sportsdirect.com wrestling promotion.
Yeah, Jesus. I think that would be the only way, because at the end of the day, that's always going to be what speaks the most, is exposure and the money and, you know, the lineage with WWE and stuff as well. At one point, if you're a Steven Regal or Fit Finlay, the gateway from here to America is like the hardest thing ever. But now it's never been easier. So I think that should be a good thing for all performers. And as you say, it should trickle down nicely to everyone else. I think so.
We are about the love of pro wrestling. We are the pre-match entrance and the post-match interview. We are the passion. We are the fun. We are Pete Dunne. We are the tricks, the risks, the crunching drop kicks. We are the crowd pleasers, the nail biters, and the risk takers. We are the art in the ring. We are the bright lights. We are the squared circle and the life of the fight. To re-watch our favourite wrestlers' moments. To live and breathe through the eyes of their opponents. We build the vision for you to explore here at Powered Forward.